Hello students. Now, after this, we learned the impact of First World War in India. Now we are going to learn about the movement organized, launched by Mahatma Gandhi after arriving from South Africa in India. January 1950, Mahatma Gandhi returned to India. He had come from South Africa, where he successfully fought the racist resentments were the discrimination among black and white. It's a novel method of mass agitation in a group. The agitation means the ask against whatever the unjust agitation with a group we have to do, which we call Satyagraha. After learning about injustice being done to the people, he decided to fight against them through Satyagraha. Now, in detail, what is the idea of Satyagraha? We are going to learn. Now, we have to learn about the idea of Satyagraha. What was the thought of Gandhiji regarding to the Satyagraha, regarding to the moments? It promotes the idea of truth and non-violence. In Satyagraha, he believed to follow two paths, truth and non-violence. The idea of Satyagraha emphasized the power of the truth and the need to search for it. It suggests, and he wanted to explain and tell us that if cause is true, if we are true, and if the struggle was against injustice, a satyagrahi could win the battle with non-violence. Without using violence of any form, satyagrahi would win the battle by appealing to the conscience of the oppression. This can be done by persuading the people, including oppressors, to see the truth instead of being forced to accept the truth, to convince them about the truth. Gandhiji believed that this idea could unite the Indians. So, with this idea of the satyagraha, the concept, Gandhiji had implemented some movements by this satyagraha concept in three different districts at a local level. In 1960, Gandhiji traveled to Champaran in Bihar to inspire the peasants to struggle against the oppressive plantation system. That was the indigo plantation system in Champaran, where the farmers were suffering because indigo plantation system only favored to the Britishers only. There was no use of indigo plantation in the India. It was used to dye the color or color the cloth, and that industry was in England, not in India. In 1917, he organized a satyagraha to support the peasants of Kheda district of Gujarat. It was affected by the crop failure and plague epidemic. The peasants could not pay the revenue and demanded the relaxation, as the Britishers or rulers were asking to pay the revenue. They were not ready to reduce the revenue. Then he moved to Ahmedabad in 1918 to organize the Satyagraha movement among the cotton mill workers. Cotton mill workers because they had a great problem regarding to the more hours to work, not healthy condition, working condition, environment condition there, and very less wages were given to the workers. Against that, he also done a movement. After these three Satyagrahi movements successfully he done, now he moved to the big movement. How? Because there was hurriedly passed by the Britishers the Rowlatt Act from the Legislative Imperial Council, they have passed hurriedly the act. So in 1919, after gaining popularity, Gandhiji decided to launch a nationwide satyagraha. against the proposed Rowlatt Act. What was the Rowlatt Act? It gave the government enormous power to repress political activities and allowed detention of political prisoners without a trial for 2 years. Gandhiji wanted to fight this by adopting non-violence, by organizing activities like hartals, bandh. Rallies were organized in various cities and workers went on a strike in a railway workshop and shops closed down. Here, up to now, we learned about this, what was the Rowlatt Act and how our Gandhiji just started the movement, Hartal, and how people joined with him. But what were the consequences? How the British reacted? That also is a point that we have to learn. They scared the British. So it decided to claim down the nationalists. Local leaders were picketed from the Amritsar and Gandhiji was barred from Delhi. Means no entry in Delhi for Gandhiji. So on 10th April, the police in Amritsar fired upon a peaceful procession, provoking widespread attack on the bank, post office and railway stations. On 13 April, because of April 10 incident, strict martial law had been imposed. In martial law, that suited site means where they would find anyone gathering, 2 or 3 people are standing outside, they can fire them, they can shoot them immediately. That is martial law. So the General Dyer took command and infamous Jallianwala Bagh incident. Next topics will be discussed in the next session. Till then, goodbye students.